Populate and come in. All right, I see y'all coming on in. That's right, let's populate. Just giving us a little time to populate. We're going to be dealing with the second part two of how important is the hair. All right, we'll get into that, and most certainly we're looking forward to you all joining in. Of course, you all know that this is dialogue and not a monologue. Please come on in. And you all know how we do it. Hit that little share button. Let somebody know that we're live, and perhaps they can get a little something out of this and share a little something with us, and we all grow. That's what it's about. Nourishing each other, nourishing our thought processes. Come on here, so we become a better one of ourselves, a higher one of ourselves. This is our season, and this is our time. Come on here. To be realized and to be recognized that we are the it factor. That's right. Of course, you know I'm your host with the most. I'm the one, the apostle, the prophet. Listen, I guarantee you I'm going to bring it into your eye gates and into your eardrums. 2,400 watts of power in this hour. So stick and stay, fam. Let's populate and come on in. I see you, Goddess Marshall. I see you, Elaine. I see you, Jason Holmes. My cousin, Willie Irby, is in the house. I see you, Craig Smith. I promise you, it's all worth the wait. It's all worth the wait. Come on here to get this information. And it's really going to bless us tremendously. Get us to somewhere we need to be in our thought processes. Of course, you all can see I'm back in the studio. Yes, I've been out on location, been out in the field. That's right. But we're about to go higher with some of this fire. I promise you I'm getting ready to spit fire. Oh yeah. Inotep. Yeah, Inotep. Abaragani. Amani Kaka. Amani Dada. Oh, hola. Bonjour. Konnichiwa. Ni hao ma. Yeah, we're going to speak some way. Who's see up in here today? Way who said? Greetings, fam. Shalom alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. I see your sergeant at arms. Kiana Grant, my daughter, is in the house. Oh, we're about to spit fire. I see Rhonda, the Minister of Information, the Administrator. Rhonda. Welcome in, sis. We're about to fire it up. I guarantee you fire's coming. We're going to talk about some things. I want to talk about us being attracted to ourselves and attracted to each other. Oh, yeah, I want us to get away from that false memory and fake memory. Come on here. And stop being someone else and start being yourself. That's right. I want to talk to you, not at you. I want you to talk to me and not at me. Let's talk. Let's have a dialogue. And remember, we have the call-in number. If you want to be live on air with the one. That's right. Chopping it up. You can give me a call. That's going to be 217-697-4531. 4531. That'll get you on live. Oh, come on, y'all, get an eighth of this. Come on, catch this fire. Oh, fire. 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 Oh, yeah, we're about to cause it to flame up in your situations and your circumstances. Come on here. We're about to burn the dross off of your materialism. Come on here. So that you can see it and get it and grab it and commandeer it and bring it in. That's right, fire. Oh, yeah. We're about to burn away those things that keep you stagnant. Come on here. Here comes fire, baby. So you can see, hear, contemplate. Come on here, meditate. Oh, yeah. Come on here, self-actualize. Oh, it's time to become you. Oh, that's right. That's right. We're about to zen and not sin. Come on here. Because we don't sin, we're supposed to zen. Oh, yeah. This is going to be about self. Oh, look at yourself and say self is about self. C-E-L-L-F, self. Oh, yeah, not S-E-L-F, but C-E-L-L-F. And if you look at that, let me stick that out there, C-E-L-L-F, you see in that word, cell. C-E-L-L, self. That's what you're supposed to be dealing with, self. Oh, that's right, within your cells, within our cells, come on here. It is a complete makeup of the whole generation. That's right, from where you hail from, within you, within your cells, come on here. It's everybody that has come before you. That's your real memory. We're going to get away from fake, false, simulated memory. Come on here, and we're going to get to self. Oh, yeah. Your hair has something to do with that. Yeah, that's why there is a concerted effort to get you to kill your hair. Because your hair is a living substance. It is a factual substance. Yes, it is. It's living. And when you cut it, you're cutting off that which lives. So you're removing the ability to do certain things. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about it. I'm not talking at you. I'm not condemning anyone. We're sharing information to get us to look inwardly and maybe look at some things that we may be participating in and that we may want to move away from or not. That's solely upon you. I'm just going to report it and then I'm going to let you decide. But we're going to spit this fire. We're going to open up these cells. I'm going to split your cells today. I'm going to open up your cells. I promise you. I'm going to split it. You're going to see self. You're going to see anima and animus. You're going to see the masculine and the feminine of yourself. We're going to spit it. Hair has something to do with that as well. Just giving us a little time. I know it's Saturday, and I know how Saturdays are, man. They're important. And we kind of often get distracted, or we have so many things to do and catch up on that our time is limited. Okay, so now, you're almost about ready. Here's what I want you all to do for me before we get started. One more time, I need everyone, for me, for you, and for us, hit this share button. Share. So we can share this energy. We can share this fire. Come on, Seth. Come on, Seth. I need y'all to share for me. If you're sharing for me, I need y'all to hit them emojis. Come on, hit them emojis. Come on, y'all. I can see who's sharing. I see y'all. I see you, Rhonda. I see you, Kiana. I see y'all sharing. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yeah, y'all. I'm back. My cupbearer and hooked me up. Woo, look at this drink today, y'all. None other than Thumbelina, the one that point the finger, Keena Beena. Yeah. Keena Hall. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. I'm your host with the most. I'm the one, the apostle, the prophet. Get ready to come into your eye gates and your eardrums with 2,400 watts of power. Come on in, fam. Let's fellowship. All right, fam. Oh, listen here. Listen. Hey, it's so much energy in here, family, that I had to take my shoes off. I got my shoes off. We finna spit this. Oh, we finna spit this fire. We about to spit this fire. Y'all, let's go back. Let's look over something real quick to kind of get us to where we need to be. This is very important. Now, what we're dealing with, how important is the hair? This is part 2. We dealt with part 1, but I want to deal with this. Now, for our sisters, our queens, please listen to me. Now, for our sisters and our queens, our goddesses, our spiritual advisors, our prophetess, wherever you at in your respectable places, this is information for all of us. We're not carving out some type of spot where we just have people that follow us and don't have the right to do anything else that they want to do or however. That's not why we're here. What we're here for is to build a community, to build a family, right? And we used the phrase that was coined by some brothers that had their own company called FUBU. For us, by us, FUBU. So this is for us. This program is for us and it is by us. It is for us and it is by us. Now, and that's not that we are anti-Europeans, anti-white. That doesn't mean that. But what it does mean is that we just happen to be pro-black and that we're concerned about our humanity, about our people. And you have to understand something, and I've expressed this on many occasions. When you look at humanity, humanity is what we bring forth. I see your daughter. Thank you, daughter. Lavelle Burns. We have to deal with this. We as a family have to come back to us, to start looking at us, put us in our eye gates in a healthy way, right? So with our sisters now, what is happening is that there's a concerted effort to disconnect you from your God, to disconnect you from your brother, to disconnect you, come on here, from your king, your son, your nephews, your grandsons. It is a concerted effort to disconnect, right? So remember, I shared with you all, nothing ever happens to be happenstance. Right. There is a reason for everything that's happening. There is a reason why we are so phony and fake and simulated. Right. Uh-oh. I know. I know. But I want to talk to my sisters. I want to talk to you because I love you, and I'm talking to my brothers as well. But there is a concerted effort to kill the image of the goddess. Hawa. She who lives, that gives life, that sustains it. There is a concerted effort to remove you from out of the eye gates of the king, out of the eye gate of God, and give us a simulation of something. Give us a false memory of something. Give us false hope of something. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm with fire today. My words have fire on them to bring about the true reality and the realness of who we are, to bring about real Zen. Come on here. See, people say, well, you're in sin. You can't be in sin. We don't come here in sin. We come in Zen, Z-E-N. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to put the meaning of that out there on the timeline for you. But we Zen. We come into self-actualization. You're self-actualizing. Not only self-actualizing, but you're having a self-introspection. Everything is dealing with self. Everything is turning inwardly. You're starting to actualize. Not are you starting to actualize, but you're starting to contemplate. This is very important. It's very important for you to hear what I'm saying to you, because you must contemplate. Contemplation is very important because contemplation brings about your conception, your concepts. Concepts are conceptualization that's brought about by having cognition. I'm not using these words to be flamboyant, but these words are very important to put out there because it gives us something to shape and mold an atmosphere that becomes conducive for us to turn on the engines of our minds so we can see self. So we want to what? Cogitate. Contemplate, contemplate, to be cognizant, to be aware, to have a heightened sense of awareness. See, once you have that heightened sense of awareness, then the focus becomes on you. It becomes on your pneumatical system, your pneuma, your pneumatical, your wind, your breath. It becomes the breath that you focus on, because without the breath, come on here, we can't actualize. To meditate and to contemplate and to have actualization is to breathe. It's to breathe. Inhale. So what are we going to get back to? We're going to get back to what? Zenning. not sinning, but zenning. We don't come into sin, we come into zen, or we come into center. We come into the center. Center. Zen brings you to the center of yourself. It brings you back to your God consciousness. It brings you back to your pineal gland. Center. C-E-N-T-E-R. Center. So why are you saying center, Apostle? Because it's important for you to understand that's how we get here, through the center. So center. I'm refocusing our terminology. I'm refocusing our words. I'm restructuring how we ingest information. So I'm bringing you to the next realm and level of the positive aspect of these words, the etymology of them, the syntax of them, the enunciation of them, to bring us to this place where we need to be. We need to be back in the center. And the center is where we zen. Okay? Now, this is very important to understand about the center. Well, why do you say the center? Because when the goddess, the mother, Ima, or Hawa, or the names that we have for her, you have to understand that how do we get here? Through the center. For us to come out, the legs must be spread. The legs must be spread, or the legs must be spreaded. And we come out of the center. We come out of the what? The womb, out of the vagina, come up here, out into the earth realm, the cosmos, and be planted. And here's what I want to share with you all too as we're going into this, and we'll move on. I want to share with you is that right now, you're only 10% of who you really are. I know some of you, y'all gonna say, no, you're only 10%. What base system are we on mathematically, Master Teacher?
Base 10.
Base 10. We're on base 10 because everything in this realm in the cosmos is only 10% of what it is. Well, why are you saying that? Because it's very important. This is why you must zen. This is why you must self-actualize. This is why you must contemplate. Okay? So it's base 10. So what does that mean? That means that when you're doing mathematics and there is a negative, you have the ability to do what, Master Teacher? The Master Teacher's in the house.
You have the ability to turn that positive.
You have the ability to turn it positive, borrow, right?
Yes, sir.
Go into 10, cancel it out, make that a 9, and move the 1 somewhere else, right?
Yes.
Basing. We're basing. That is the base. That is the fundamentals of mathematics, right?
Yes.
Of the base system,
yes.
Correct? Which allows us to always have that we're never broke.
Come on.
You're never in debt. You just don't understand that. Based upon the system that we have, you're never broke. Now, why am I saying this? Because it is very important to understand that we're only 10% of ourselves in this realm. Because why? We're in seed form. This suit that we have on, this is a seed, this is a capsule. Now, what has to happen is, as the Master Teacher taught, except the wheat of corn fall into the ground and die first, then it abideth alone. But if it died, then it brings forth much fruit. In other words, we really don't become who we really are until we transition out of this form and shape. But while we're in this form and shape, we must contemplate and meditate.
Yes.
To what? To be able to bring out the conception, the concepts. Everything is a concept, come on here, that is coming from your conceptualization. Oh, come on here. So now, if you are going within yourself and you're not conceptualizing who you really are, then you're going to give me someone that's simulated. You're going to give me a simulation, right? And then what that leads to is what? False memory. false projection. You start projecting something in someone that you aren't. But that's not without aid and assist from something ostensible, something external. You see, we are moved by things that come into our eye gates. We tend to retain more of what we see than what we hear, right? And more often than not, what we see is distorted, because when we're looking through our duality, there is the tendency to mislay information. The mind does not record in detail, it records in gist. So when you're looking at a thing, you're not getting the fullness of it. That's why we have scientific processes, to make sure that when we look into something that we're actually understanding what it really is. I'm going a long way home to get to where I'm going with this, because it's very important that our problem is self, that we haven't communed with self. We haven't communed with the feminine and the masculine of ourselves. All right? I'm going to put animus and anima and animus back out here in a little bit, because I think it's very important for us to understand us, that we have to reconcile with us. We have to reconcile within ourselves. Reconciling within ourselves gives us the ability to establish a relationship based off of better promises with our gods and goddesses. See, we're not going to get to that relationship that we need until there's a reconciliation between your masculine self and your feminine self. Oh, okay. I told you I was going to split you up. You'll see yourself, because this is about us. All right? This is a place where you come, right? Where you will not be reviled, derided, dehumanized, demonized, cast aside. This is a place where your thoughts really matter here in the Truth Session. And of course, I am your host with the most. I am the one, the apostle, the prophet, coming into your eye gates and your eardrums with 2,400 watts of power and all ye. I love you all, family. Thank you all for your Saturdays. Okay, let's go ahead on and dive into this. What y'all think? Put some emojis. Let me wet my whistle. That fire's in here. Send out some of them emojis for me. Okay, now, excuse me, some of you may have not been with us in last session, so listen, let's dive into this. Let's go ahead on and work this out. I just want to rehash this and get us to where we're going. Okay? And so we can converse. Thank you. Told you that fire's in here, man. Woo! There's water. Water. Living water. Mayim Hayim. Yes, indeed. Okay. Is that still on the timeline? Can you guys see that? Okay, great. Perming hair. Okay, sisters, listen to me, please. This is your brother loving you and loving on you and loving to see you be you. Come on here. I got eyes only for you. Come on here. Woo. I love Weusi. Weusi. Yeah, that's Key Swahili for blackness. Nuziri Weusi. Yeah, I love being black. I love blackness. Okay, let's look at this. Now, we're talking about, remember, we went into this and we talked about how this becomes a epidemic, how this become a dependency. For our queens, our goddesses, our sisters, and it's referred to creamy crack because it's a habit. It's habit forming, right? And what hasn't been realized is that in 2 weeks, it'll be right back kinked up at the roots. So it's going to remind you that that's you. Now, what you have to understand is that after a period of time, self starts self-disciplining itself. Yeah, I know you didn't catch that, did you? It starts to self-discipline itself to get you to stop doing what you're doing to it. It's telling you that you're damaging me, you're doing something to me that's hurting me. So it becomes an addiction to the point that they coined it creamy crack. What I want to do is just bring attention to this for us. Because see, I love you for you. I don't need you to be other than you. Because see, it's you that I'm attracted to. Not an assimilated you. Because if there's an assimilated you, then there is false memory there. There's going to be causality for things to not be truthful, to be a variant. Okay? And I'm trying to be careful with my words because I'm not trying to condemn in any kind of way. What I'm trying to do is alarm, alert, awaken, cause awareness. Okay? Now, but look at this. Let's look at what some study groups did. Let's look at some of this. It says that through perming of the hair, they found out that it creates fibroid tumors. And if you think about it, and Sister Rhonda gave truth to this last session. I know Sister Kena gave truth to this, and if it be other of you out there, you'll give truth to it also, that you've permed your hair. You've used creamy crack. So this is very important. And some people might say, well, why are you talking about? Because this is about relationship. This is about building our family again. This is about us becoming one again as a family and loving our own selves again and loving our family again and loving to see us coming. Come on here. Y'all know it's some people, we don't want to see them coming.
That's right.
Man, dude, girl, something, no, don't, You feel me? So we understand that. So it's very important for us to understand this. And I am giving reason. See, what I'm trying to say is that this is other than you. Because if you perm your hair in 2 weeks, I know what I'm talking about because I'm a barber stylist. 2 weeks, it's going to be right back kinked up at the naps, and you got to put something else on there to stop reminding you that that's you. You're going to put the straightener in your hair to make it seem like it's you. And it isn't you. And then you need to understand that there's some historical information that tells you why sisters had to cover their heads in Louisiana. I'm pretty sure Sister Elaine put that out there the last time, so I'm pretty sure that hopefully she's in the room to put it out there again. Let me see. Hopefully she's in the room to put it out there again, right? Okay. Now, please, Elaine, if you're there, please put that back on the timeline again about the Louisiana information, or if Master Teacher have it. Listen, y'all, give me just a second. Stick and stay, because this is going to be very important. This is well thought out information. I'm not just throwing stuff at you, but this is well thought out information. It's very important for us to understand what's happening to us and why we're not attracted to each other. It's impossible virtually for us really to be attracted to each other because we're simulated. We are holograms. We are holograms. We're projecting something that isn't factual. We're not projecting the real actuality of who we are. You see? So we're going to need to get back to the place where we are projecting the real actuality, and then that's when true healing comes. That's when true reconciliation comes. That's when the human and woman are able to come together. And I was given an example of humanity earlier before I went into this about humanity. We must understand, you look at the word human. Human is a compound word, hue, H-U-E, meaning colored, and then man, the color man and woman. Humanity is only comprised of one group of people, and those are the black and brown men and women. And from there, we get what we refer to as mankind. There's other kinds of men, but we are humanity, the black and brown man, and we are the ones that are responsible for the salvation of the universe. We are the ones that were supposed to give the behavior pattern to mankind. Because why? We were sent here to be gods, and we've lost our image. We've lost the image of God, and we become simulated. We become holograms. We're not fearful of the energy and the spirit and the power that we once held and possessed. We can get back to that. We can get back to that by what? Re-energizing and charging the universe with information. Right? Yes. 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 Thank you, son. It's up to us to do this, but the universe doesn't recognize us because we're holograms. We're a simulation of what we're supposed to be. And again, what I'm saying to you is if you don't get with self, you won't understand that you're God. You'll be projecting some sinful soul that, oh, I'm just some sinner sold into sin and all this old mumbo jumbo. When you should be saying that I'm God and I'm going to speak according to the power that has been invested in me from the creator, mother and father. Come on here, from the ancestors. Come on, from the elders, from my parents. Come on here, that which has been passed down to me to be, to come into existence, to hayah, to kum, fa kum, to come into being, to be, to exist because I am. And that's what we should be doing. Oh, I told you I'm going to spit fire today. I want to talk to your insides. I want to talk to who you are. I don't want to talk to the simulated. I don't want to talk to the simulated you, and I'm not going to give you a simulated me because I want us to have a real conversation. I need y'all to talk to me. Talk black to me. Talk black to me. All right. Now, so let's look at this. Let's get at this. So now we have to get back to who we are designed to be and who we are supposed to be. And then the universe will respond to us. See, we run around talking about karma. Oh, karma is going to get you. It's going to come back around. How is karma going to get somebody and the universe don't even recognize you? Someone done something to you, but the universe doesn't even recognize you. That you are not who you're supposed to be. And I know you're saying, oh, that's not true. I'm telling you. When you're not who you're supposed to be, the universe, come on here, it's not going to recognize you. However, now you may be able to manipulate some things and make it seem and appear that some things are happening in your favor when it really isn't. It's just your manipulation. Now, persuasion is something different because when you're persuading gives the individual that you're dealing with the opportunity to recognize and have the choice to decide if they want to participate. But if you're manipulating someone, you're using subtle tactics. That means that you're doing something as not to be detected. It's so slight that I'm using methods to get you to do what I want you to do. And that exists. So we have to understand those when you juxtapose them so that you can understand what they are. Okay? Now, So when we get into this, please hear me. When we get into this, we have to recognize that we need to be recognized. That's why there's an attempt to mar us, to beat us, to hang us, to castrate us, to eliminate us, to rub us out, to depopulate us. Why? Because we are the ones that have all the authority. We're the ones that have and hold all of the power. And so what has happened is that we've been manipulated. There's tactics that have been carried out on us, come on, to dumb us down, to desensitize us. And the hair is one of the ways that they desensitize us. Oh, man. Because the hair is an attraction. It will attract. So here's the study. According to the research at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, women who use childhood hair products, such as perm and hair oil, were much more likely to reach puberty before those who did not. Now, catch this. See, sisters, this is why I'm telling y'all there's a concerted effort to destroy you all. There's a concerted effort to create such trauma in your lives that you can't bounce back and be productive. Because why? There is a portion of your brain that has been tampered with that will not allow you to see the proper projection. What is being stimulated? What is the stimuli? Right? What is causing me to, at this point in place in time, intermitting explosive disorder jumps off, and I'm in a fit of rage and pain. Well, there's things that haven't been dealt with. So here it is that those that use those kinds of the perm and the hair oil, it causes them to reach puberty much earlier, which means that the menarche comes, your menstruation comes, and then ultimately your period comes on, right? Which means that you're gonna begin to do what? Secrete what? Pheromones. You're gonna begin to secrete chemical elements that cause masculine pheromones to be attracted to you. Right? That's something that automatically happens in nature that you cannot stop. The church can't pray it off you. The church can't lay hands and say, oh, in the name of Jesus, stop being promiscuous. Hey, once a month, unless there is some chemical imbalance in our queens, our goddesses, our sisters, you are going to ovulate. Hello? Y'all talk to me, sisters, put them thumbs in the air. Y'all put some on that timeline. Once a month, you are going to what? Ovulate. And when you ovulate, what happens? Oh yeah, you become sexually what? Heightened. It isn't something that you even focus on. It is given to you. Come on here at birth, man. It's something that you'll never be able to get rid of. It is given to you from the creator, mother, and father of us all. That you may be what? Attractive. That you may attract that which you need. Right? So now, what happens if that happens before the time? That means that something is going to get what? Perverted. Yes. And when we're talking about perversion, listen to me, please. I'm not talking about anything nasty. I'm talking about pre-verted. To vert something and pre-do it. Pre means to do before. So in other words, something happened before the time. Something got inverted, twisted before the time. That's all it simply means. Not that you're a nasty person, we're going to cast the devil at you. Or you some unclean individual. That's not what that is. It simply means that something happened, and if we can discover what it is, then we can rearrange it. We can fix it. We can heal it. Right? So if we know that, okay, pubescence come upon you early due to some type of chemical that was, come on here, given to you at an early age. So now, once we figure that out, we realize that, okay, now we can reverse that. How do we reverse it? We reverse it by what? Giving it information. By now, with a concerted effort to inform whomever this act has been carried out on with this creamy crack, come on here, that you're going to become vulnerable, come on, to attack from the masculine. So you're going to have to what? Guard yourself. Because there's some things that are beginning to happen to your body before it should. Because what? Why? What is happening is that the mental stimulation has not been properly developed yet. Okay. Now, what we're going to have to get away from is what the church is doing. And I know I have a lot of pastors and you'll sit out there, and not you all in particular, but you sit out there, man, and you condemn people. You condemn these sisters. Oh, the devil is in you. You're dressed too tight. I can see under your dress. You don't have any underwear on. What are you doing? Have you ever stopped to think what may have happened? And it ain't the devil.
Right.
But it is a devil. If you catch what I just said.
Yes, sir.
That sister's not the devil. That daughter's not the devil. And you can't be casting the devil out of everybody because there's chemical imbalances. There are things that are being done to us in a physical way that doesn't have anything to do with some invisible being that automatically just somehow just really just jumped in you and made you do it. So this being just jumped in you and made you become promiscuous. Come on now. Okay. Now, so, and please go back and look at part 1 because I really don't have time to go through everything I said, but also there was a second study group, and here's what their findings was, and we'll move on. Excuse me for sniffing you all. That pollen over here in South Carolina, man, is relentless. Oh my God. Okay. Everybody good? Hey, I see my daughter, Shadron, in the house. Excuse me, fam. I was just trying to. There's some friend requests that just come in. But listen, family, also, let people know if you're trying to send a request to me and you don't have any type of logo or picture, I'm not accepting your friendship. I'm not accepting it. Because to me, you're hiding something. Right? So you're going to have to put something on that. Okay, now here's what the okay, you didn't give it to me? Let me repost. I see you, brothers. I see you, Brother D, Brother Swinson out there. Okay. I see why that didn't do. If you haven't, please, everyone, remember, let us know where you're hailing from. Yeah, it might be a Facebook agent. That's correct, Sister Rhonda. Yeah, and a troller, right? Okay. Now, here's what the, excuse me. Here's what the study group did. Right? Excuse me. The study group showed that the study recruited 300 women from various ethnic backgrounds between the ages of 18 to 77. Researchers then asked the group what type of hair products they used before the age of 13. Check this out. What they found, African Americans were more likely to use hair products and reach menarche, the first occurrence of menstruation, earlier than other racial ethnic groups. Let me go back and say it again. So when you use creamy crack, what it is doing, it is causing you to exhale at an accelerated rate because your hair is live tissue. It is connected to your lymphatic system. So it is getting into your system and causing your system to grow old. It is speeding up your aging. Are y'all hearing me? Which means that your body will speed up the process in which it releases eggs, and you only have an X amount of eggs. All the eggs that you'll ever have is given to you at birth or when you're being formed in the womb of your mother. You cannot grow anymore. There isn't any going to just jump in your body. Ain't nobody going to lay hands on you and say, eggs, get in there. Right? So what they're doing, they're speeding up your process so that you will run out of eggs at a certain period of time and you won't be able to produce. It's so subtle. No, it's so subtle. Look at that. That's subtle. That's subtle. You're not going to catch that because you have to have a certain level of sensitivity to catch that stimulation, to catch that stimuli. And this is what's happening. What they're doing is moving us away from the ability to sense what's going on and what's really happening. I know y'all going to talk black to me in a minute. So that used the products before the age of 13. Again, what happened? What they found was African Americans were more likely to use hair products and reach menarche, the first occurrence of menstruation, earlier than the other ethnic groups. And here's also what another study said. I'm going to speed up a little bit, you all, but you can catch this. This information, you can catch it in the first session from last session. The first part, rather. Excuse me. All right. Yes. Hey, D, what's up? D is in the house. She said over 600 eggs in a woman's lifetime. Put it out there. Yes, indeed. Make it happen. That's what I like. It talk black. Yeah. All right. All right. Okay. Now, like I shared with you all, you're going to get well thought out information here in the truth session. That's why we call it the truth session. We're not going to get caught up in emotions. We're not going to get you caught up in what we think, except it becomes relevant in that we can show you the importance of it, okay? Or the relevancy of it, okay? Okay. You guys see that? Okay, now another study research at the Sloan Epidemiology Center in Boston also found that black women who use relaxers have a high risk of what? Fibroids. There it is. Now that's scientific. Excuse me, y'all. This pollen got me. I need to blow my nose. Ooh, I almost heard. Boy, I heard on that when you kept ringing. When you came in on that, boy, I heard on that. We're coming up on uncharted territory. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Oh yeah, we getting ready to see now. Woo! All right, now let's look at this. I want to run through this real quick because this is very important. And sisters, I love you. Don't get mad at the one. I'm just reporting, and you're going to decide. Don't get mad at the one. Now, all of y'all run around here with 15 different colors in your head. You got purple, blue, red, green, orange, pink, purple, green. Yeah, but listen to me. Listen, I'm loving you. I love you. I'm loving on you. But I got to tell you something, though. Look at this. You have to understand that when you dye your hair, you're literally putting lead in your head. And if your hair is living tissue and it's alive and it's connected to your lymphatic system, that means that you are poisoning yourself. So eventually you're going to end up with what? Thyroid problems, Sisters, how many of us have thyroid problems? Not just fibroids, but thyroid problems. Oh. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, but let's look at this. I'm gonna hit it and quit it. Lead acetate. Let me put this out here. And we went over this in last session, but it's very important because I need you to see this. This is, oh man, we got to love on each other. We got to be willing to share it, right? Okay. Yeah, that's JP playing over there. Shadrin said. Sister D said, beautiful, beautiful music, family. Okay. Sister Rhonda Moore says, I am a living witness. I permed my hair, had fibroid tumors, which led to total hysterectomy. Woo. In 19. Okay. We with you, sis, on that. We love you. That's why I love you, Sister Rhonda, because you deserve to be loved. Come on here. We got to love on each other. Come on here. Love is a healing element. Come on here. What's this shading? What? The doctor. Okay, yeah, there it is. My daughter's sister, Shadrin Calvin, said the doctor shared this same information with us in a forum just this week. More and more black women are not reproducing or will never conceive children because of chemicals that they have placed in and on their bodies. Bam. And there's always going to be a witness to some. Hello, somebody. Yeah. Yes, indeed. And then Sister Dorothy says also could be the cause of lymphoma, lymphoma, cancer, no Huygens Just disease. No, I'm not sure if that's. Yeah, that's Sister Dorothy, lymphoma. Okay. All right. Man, I love it when y'all talk black. I love to read what y'all talking about. Okay. Everybody good? Look like we holding steady. Come on, y'all. Come on. Let's do some of these emojis real quick. Let me wet my whistle, and then we're gonna jump right back in here because I want to get to the importance of what this is we're talking about, you all. Okay. Now, lead acetate. Look at this. It's important, sisters, because you all are putting this in your head. Brothers too, this is important. Lead acetate is used as a color additive in progressive hair dye products. Y'all see that? Yes. These products are applied over a period of time to achieve a gradual coloring effect. So it's saying that this is used over a period of time and it is used gradually. So if it is used over a period of time and used gradually, that means that they're stretching out the process, come on here, of causing you to ingest lead into your body. It is so subtle to as not be what? Detected. And all the time that it's doing it to you, it is dealing with your nervous system. It is taking away your ability to sense and to feel. Ooh. That's why we're so heartless right now. That's why we're so quick to be violent with each other, because we're no longer sensitive. Our subtle stimuli, to be able to pick up little subtle things, to realize when someone has deceived us with the wrong message and we violently do something to each other. It is a lack of sensitivity. Yeah. Oh, come on, talk to me, family. Talk black. Talk black to me. That's and peace be upon him. That's our teacher, Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Yes, always said talk black to me. And I appreciate him and I miss him in this plane. But I fellowship with him in the spirit realm. Now, So now we understand that, okay, well, something is happening to me. Something is causing my body to break down. And if you look at what's happening to our sisters, the goddesses, the queens, look, if you look at in our group, we are obese. If we're not obese, we're what? Overweight. There is something that's going on. And once some of us may have a predisposition. I understand that. That's a predisposition. I'm talking about what is happening to us chemically. Okay? So just bear with me. If it may seem like I'm being a little judgmental, but I'm really not in a condemning way. Okay, now. Let me put this out here just to be fair, because in the trials, they did some trials, and I want to put this out here because you got to catch the subtleness of this. Okay? Okay, Sister Rhonda says, Sister Rhonda says the hysterectomy of the black women's reproductive organs is another way for our counterparts to ensure we cannot reproduce. And that's absolutely categorically correct, daughter. Yes. and Kiana said, amazing. And Sister Sadrian, she says, indeed. Okay, now look at this trial. Now, you got to catch the subtleness of this. All right? Catch the subtleness of this. It says in the trial, the people using the product under controlled conditions of use were monitored for the amount of lead in their bloodstream. No significant increase in blood levels. Now catch this, no significant increase. Didn't say there wasn't any, but when you do an experiment, and the master teacher taught us about how certain things are not said because of the margin and how they do. Is that in your forefronts that you can elaborate on that, master teacher?
Yes, repeat that portion again where you were heading.
When no significant increase in blood levels of lead was seen in the trial subjects, but mathematically there is a math equation. You were talking about alleviating certain, dropping off certain, and then keeping certain figures. You remove one figure and then keep the larger figure. You throw out this figure, throw out that figure, and keep this figure. Yes.
Yes. There are figures that are called outliers.
Yes.
And so what it would do is that the outliers would actually distort your equation. It would take your values to one end, and it would actually give you the appearance that certain solutions are higher than what they should be because of those outliers. And that's what those chemicals will do. Instead of being in a steady growth period, you will see something on a parabolic shape period, or it'll be an exponential period. So that's why you see our young ladies with their hair and things are happening to them chemically, because they'll start out at a certain level. All of a sudden, because of the chemicals, they'll start growing quickly. It'll be exponential growth, and all of a sudden it's out of control.
Yes, exactly. Now, that's why it's very important for us to be able to share information. You see how quick-witted the master teacher is? That's because he's sensitive. His ability to respond to stimuli is intact. And this is something that can be taught. This is why we're teaching. This is why we're talking about it. This is why we're doing it, so it can be what? Activated. There it is. Turn it on. Turn on the cognition of your mind, and this is what we're doing. So now, they are so subtle. So they said no significant increase in blood levels or lead was seen in the trial subjects, and the lead was not shown to be absorbed into the body through such use. And look at what it says. It says was not shown to be absorbed into the body through such use. But it says no significant increase in blood levels. So in other words, the outlier. That means that, listen, this because of that and this didn't come up and this didn't go around. So therefore, this is that. You see that? They move information around on us. But look, now, here they go. Now, listen to this. Here's what they do. So now they issue a caution, though. Check it out. This is why it's very important to understand how to really go in and dig certain things out and kind of just slow it down for us. We have the patience to be able to catch it.
That's right.
We're looking for quick solutions without information. Sister Dorothy says she wants to talk on the predisposition of being fat. Okay, let me get this out, Sister Dorothy, and get to a certain point, and then I'll pull you in. Okay, I'll let you go ahead on the call in. Let me get this out the way, and then that'll get us to our next position that we're going to get to. Okay, all right. Did y'all see that? Is it posted?
Yes.
Okay, now caution. Look at this. It says caution. Contains lead acetate. Caution. Contain. Wait a minute. Caution. Caution. Wait a minute. It says caution. It contains what?
Lead acetate.
Lead acetate. What does that mean? So it says for external use only. But your hair is living tissue.
Yes.
It is connected to your lymphatic system. So that means that you are ingesting it internally.
Yes.
So now if you look at the outliers, if you go back and it's talking about a various group of people, and if you look at the perm, I mean, it's talking about various groups of people from 18 to 77. Yeah. So in those statistics, you know they had to deal with that, with different levels and marginals of growth and slow growth and fast pace or exponentially growing. So you know they had to deal with that. So it says that contain lead acetate for external use only. Keep this product out of what? Children's reach. Do not use on cut or abraded what? Scalp. Oh, I wonder why. It says if skin irritation develops, do what? Discontinue. Why do you want to put this on you? Do not use to color mustaches, eyelashes, eyebrows, or hair on parts of the body other than the scalp. Do not get in eyes. Follow instruction carefully and wash hands thoroughly after use. Now, isn't that something? Now, catch out what they said. Well, it didn't increase. Wait a minute. Why are you telling me not to put this on me then? If it isn't poisonous. Okay. Wow. Okay. Let's look at this. Let's put this out there and we'll run on it and we'll get to the importance of hair. We'll let Sister Dorothy go ahead on it. Call in and we'll keep it moving. Hey, Jewel. Greetings, brother. It's good to see you out here, brother. Listen, give me a call. I need to talk to you. Give me a call, man, because I love you, have you. Come on into the studio, man, and we do an interview with you. Give me a call. Now, look at this. Lead poisoning, which is lead is a toxin, right? Yes. Lead is toxic, right? Yes, it says it can cause irreversible damage to the what? To the liver, blood, kidneys, and what? Brain. So, okay, so why are you going to put it on your head if it's going to cause problems in your brain?
Come on. That's right.
Lead. Okay? Now, again, even Baba Dick Gregory, peace be upon him, taught this before he left. He talked about how the highways were taking through the low social wealth income housing. And those trucks were taking, the leaded gas through there. And as it took the leaded gas through there, the lead was poisoning the communities. Yes. And you had lead poisoning happening as a result of those semi-trailers pulling and carrying that lead, that gasoline. Isn't that something? Yes. It's so subtle, you can't catch it. So we can talk about it. But it says also in children and babies, lifelong behavior, listen to this, lifelong behaviors. This is irreversible. When you start utilizing lead and putting lead in certain places, it becomes irreversible. Come on here. And it creates, remember we were talking about behavior, anxiety, anger, violence down in those communities. We've had lead problems. We've had lead in the paint that you paint the houses with. We've had lead in the drinking water. There's still lead in the drinking water. Yeah. There's all kind of carcinogens that is in that water that's toxic and that's poisoning us. There are chemicals that causes even homosexuality. It causes the ability to change male organs into female organs and female organs into male organs. This is a fact. This has been tested. And we've talked about this. I put it out there somewhere. Don't have enough time to look that information up and give it to you. But okay, now, the hair is indeed important. And I'm going to get to a spot where we stopped at. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Sister Dorothy, if you're still online, just go ahead and call into the studio. Excuse me. So now, the hair is important. Let's start looking at some of the things that hair does, that happens with your hair. And I want to say this to our sisters. Our hair causes us to be attractive, yes. You know, with that fabric. I call it fabric. You have that fabric that grows out, and it has a texture. It has an alluring texture to it. It has the ability to illuminate itself, and it has the ability to cascade different colors. And then the sun naturally, when we're in concert with it, when we are in tune with it, will also cause our hair to naturally bring about different colors. Yes. A natural coloring. Come on, caller, you on with the one?
Hi, Jay. This is Dorothy. Hello, family.
Hey.
Shalom.
This is very important information. Now, this time I'm going to start this off. You just mentioned there's chemicals that can change boy to girl and girl to boy. Facts. That's a fact. I got my brother was laid off from a job where dealing with drugs, being a former addict himself. It qualified him to get a job in that area, working in a nonprofit here in Baltimore, where they have transsexuals. And many of these individuals, it's like our first transsexual, because of the discrimination, first transsexual drug treatment center for transsexuals. And straight folks go there too, but you know, it's really geared towards them because they get discriminated against a lot. But anyway, many of them take these drugs that changes them over from men to being women to get the breasts and all of that, as well as women going over to males. And so he has shared much education with me about that. It looks like these drugs that they're giving these folks, they've been doing this stuff since the 70s. It really is chemical warfare.
Yes.
Right, and mad scientists experimenting to see how things go because from his perspective or what he had shared with me, these types of drugs are going through a lot emotionally as well. When you putting more estrogen in a male system and more, what is it for the males, the hormones, testosterone in the female, it causes all kinds of confusion and emotional. You already know from being when you're growing up in puberty, when you're coming through adolescence, your natural hormonal system has you going through change. We see us women go through a lot of PMS, and I got a daughter, 12 now. She goes through PMS and real bad, and I'm starting to really look at her diet and all of those things that could also play a big role into kind of calming that down.
Yes.
I've been talking to her pediatrician and stuff about that. But the other thing, what I was trying to say is that lymphoma. My mother died from non-Hodgkin's disease. That's what I was trying to say.
Oh, okay.
Lymph nodes.
Yes.
Cancer of the lymph node system.
Yes.
We have lymph nodes all over our body. They all over, from head to toe.
Yes.
Right? And it's also, I saw somebody put up a comment, if I'm not mistaken, they put up a comment where that system is somewhat designed, something like, kind of similar to like kidneys and liver. Like if cancer get up in it, it actually kind of protects you from the disease from spreading outside into other areas of the body. It can contain it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then, like in the case of my mom's, she got a knot under her armpit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We thought it was like a deodorant knot. We call it deodorant knot.
Right,
back
yes.
in the day, where
Yes.
people change up on deodorant, they might get a knot under their arm. We go to the doctors feel under our neck and behind our ears and stuff to see if the lymph nodes is swollen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? See if there's some kind of infection going on and stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
But when you use that word lymph node and you was relating that to the hair,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you talk about this chemical getting on the hair and the hairband, the liver tissue going down to the brain, I can see it transferring down to the reproductive system of the woman. Now, right now, what a lot of people don't know is we're in the 21st century, but yet black women are dying in childbirth.
Yes.
And the children.
Yes.
Right, at a very high rate, as opposed to their white counterpart, female.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Why is that? Right. Then we talk about fibroids and stuff. All of that stuff trickling down to our reproductive system when we talk about infertility and all of that. So this is an important intel of information that really needs to get out here in the community, because these young women, girls like I got a daughter 21. Well, she's wearing, I had natural now. She wear a lot of wigs and stuff. Thank God for wigs. We were teasing the young girls about the tracks and wigs and stuff. But I celebrate it, because if we're going to keep them damn chemicals out of their hair, then so be it. Then on top of that, us older women, we have a tendency to cover up our gray with dyes and stuff, right? These dyes and stuff, like you say, got lead and stuff in there. And that could be a contribution to Alzheimer's and diseases like Parkinson's disease. We don't know what these chemicals are doing. But I know what my mother's oncology doctor, when she was going through her cancer treatment. Uh-huh. And I asked him what was the cause of that type of cancer. Jackie Kennedy died from the same kind of cancer. Uh-huh. Right? It was a cancer at first that was more associated with athletes, particularly male. There wasn't too many women had that cancer. But then they started seeing a rise with women getting that type of cancer. He told me, now listen to this. He told me they suspect that it came from the pesticides and things of that nature that they spray on vegetables.
Yes.
During the farming process.
Yes.
And that it's getting down in the fruits and the vegetables of what we eat.
Yes.
Right now, we wash our vegetables and fruit normally when we eat it. You know, some fruits and vegetables we cook and stuff, right? But when we talk about these chemicals, we don't know how they transform under heat and things of that nature. But we normally told that heat kills things, but sometimes heat can also activate things.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Make it worse. I got a niece that's a chemist. She's a biochemist. I always talk to her about this kind of stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
But I just want to say one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm running off at the mouth. I'm sorry for taking over your joke.
You got time.
Another thing I wanted to say is that, Jay, I was sitting here looking at some things today, and I realized all this information I was taking in by watching it through my eye gate.
Uh-huh.
Right. And I said to myself, this is transforming me, all this damn information.
Yes.
Right. Now, I'm just saying, if I was a younger woman, hypothetically, right, when I connect to whoever I connect to bring forth new seed into this earth, right, that information is transformed right into my brain. It goes, all that information goes in my bloodstream, and whatever information the other partner, my partner has, in his bloodstream, also in that, and it's going to be a part of that baby.
Right.
And I'm going to carry in my womb, right? So what I'm saying here, when we talk about predispositions and stuff, right, mm-hmm. we really, to some degree, have a say in predispositions. The information that we're taking in right now, mm-hmm. right, it's like we're farmers and we're sowing a seed, mm-hmm. right? We're taking in that information. And we don't know how the information, when it's produced through childbirth, how it will come out in another individual.
Correct.
I'm talking about intelligence here. Mm-hmm. And that's including all the things we eat, all the things we hear, all the things we see, how we're affected in terms of trauma and all that. We know that if a woman is being traumatized during the time that she's pregnant, and we see this illustration suggested in one of the Gospels when Jesus talked about woe to the woman to the pregnant woman in these days, right? Talking about the trauma that she will be exposed to, and at the time that she's turned a child, it will affect that child. Right? In the same way with the ages who play symphony music and introduce a lot of things to the woman during the time when she's pregnant to make her journey as peaceful as possible, because they know it's going to affect that baby. Can you imagine the woman that's going through domestic violence during the time she's pregnant, and all of that going filtering down to her womb?
Correct.
Inside that baby. Remember the umbilical cord that's connected to her, the life itself.
Right. Yes. It's a transfer mechanism.
We talk about predisposition, right? We're creating the predisposition. We're altering the DNA and the genealogy.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
By what we take in.
Yes, that is true.
So we might play a role in it to some degree. I just wanted to say that.
Okay.
I don't have no whole bunch of scientific facts to back up what I'm saying, but I do read a lot.
Yes.
You know? And then there's certain things inside of me that I know within my tuition that, and from the experience of childbirth myself as a woman, you know, bringing the doggones into this world, right, that I know to be facts.
Yes.
Right. And we really, it might not be through our generation of adults. This information that we get, you're giving out some, oh my God, this information that you're sitting here telling the audience is unbelievable. And I'm sitting here, as I'm sitting here listening and watching you, I was thinking about your kids, Jack, right, and your grandchildren, and the children that will come out of them, right? They're going to be on such a level as far as in intellect.
Yes.
And a people that's going to be just out of this world, for real.
Yes,
right?
indeed.
And many of us, it might not be through, this is the foundation generation of information where we just beginning to open up our minds to, many people before us have talked about this. We're coming back, full circle on it again. But although we're coming full circle, it's something new being invented here.
Oh, yes, indeed.
And so we're coming back into our position, but this new giant that's coming through us, it's going to be awesome.
Yes, indeed.
I'm just sitting here just listening to you, Jay, and this information that you have studied to show yourself approved. Your great-grandchildren down the line is going to be, oh, my God.
I received that.
I wouldn't be surprised if those kids will be the type of kids that will walk in a room and the radiance of healing power will be on them so powerful. A person with some kind of ailment or disability, just by the shadow of a person walking past them.
Yes, indeed.
Healed.
Oh, you on it. That's right.
Kind of power that you are talking here.
Yes, indeed. That's why we're creating an atmosphere that it can be conducive to do so. And it's people such as you that have the ability to pick it up and carry it because you're still sensitive to what's going on. So, and with that, we always, man, you know, you always, you one of us, you know, you can always pick that phone up and call in. You know, you're very dear to me and I love you. So I thank you and I always receive what you say to me. So listen, continued success in all your endeavors and everything that you lay your hands on. Come on here, that it prosper.
Oh, thank you. Hallelujah.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Jay.
All right.
Love you. I love y'all. Hey, one people, y'all.
Yeah.
One people.
Yeah,
all
one
got
people.
something to bring to the table.
Come on here. Yes, indeed. One love.
All right.
That's our very own Sister Dorothy O'Bannon, you all. That's my girl. Listen, we're going to jump right back into this. Let's look at some of the hair, and then we'll get to a safe place where we could continue on in the next session with part 3, because I kind of wanted to take my time with this because it's very important. But I want to read what Sister Calvin said, if I can get back to it. Where is it at? Okay, did I pass it up? There it is. Okay. Well, she says, those drugs alter the normal natural hormone levels to a point where your brain no longer recognizes what your natural birth sexual orientation. How strong does a drug have to be to cause confusion to your genetic makeup? Whoa, yeah, I know, right? And we'll get to that at some point. We'll get to pull that information out. We'll get it pulled out at some point, and we'll deal with that as well. Okay. Now let's let's move into this next realm and level of what we're doing here with hair. Your hair indeed is important. Listen to this. Hair helps attract those whom will help you on your journey. However, it isn't the journey itself. Ultimately, it is how one takes their journey. Okay. Now, also because one may or may not be on the same path as you doesn't indicate that they aren't headed in the same direction. And this is why we have to stop all the confusion. This is why we have to stop arguing and bickering and fighting with one another. This is why we can't get our little group over here and four and no more, and then lock everybody in over here, and then they won't fellowship with nobody else or talk to nobody else, or enter into a relationship with anybody else because they feel like they have to be so loyal to you that they can't get other information, be information gatherers from other people in other places. And I think that this is what's happening to us. We're splitting off into these little groups and dividing ourselves. And so if you be divided, then you can be conquered. You see? Why are we conquered? Because we're divided. If we come together, come on here, we're more powerful. Okay, so remember, when someone is taking their journey, if you can't help them, get out of the way. But if you can, help. All right? Now, but this is what your hair does. Your hair helps attract those that are going to walk with you, talk with you, communicate with you, commune with you. Your hair is very powerful. And I'm just going over some other things, but we had this in last session. Please, you can go back and check this out. Also, we talked about, let me get this, put this out here. All right, so let's look at this. Let me do this one more time. Okay. I don't apologize for this being lengthy, you all, because we have to get this information. All right? Okay. I know some will come back and look at it later and kind of spot check it and do things like that. That's fine too. But your hair is utilized as a purpose of attraction, which is why one should keep their hair natural, because it will attract the authenticity of other people, elements, events, encounters, divine incidents, etc. Oh man, let me say this again because it's very important. Sister Dorothy said something that was very important. She was saying that how that the young sisters are going back to natural hair, but they're also wearing wigs. But also at the same time, wigs are in a simulation. It's not the real you. Although it is an alternative to perm, but it's a distortion of who you are. It's not you. Your hair doesn't grow like that. Your hair isn't long and flowing and silky like that. That belongs to another ethnicity. That's how that's how their fur grows. Not their hair. We're the only ones that have hair. Our hair is alive. When our counterparts' fur grow out of their scalp, it dies. It's dead. Ours keeps living. It is alive. We are the only ones, listen to me, and you'll hear me well. We are the only group of people, humanity, the black and brown man, woman, boy, and girl, that you can literally pluck a strand of hair out of our heads and you can stretch it because it is alive, it will curl back up. It will snap back because it is alive. Because why? It has porosity or porosity and elasticity. Did you hear what I said? We are the only ones. I'm telling you. I am a barber stylist. I did hair for over 20 some years. We are the only ones that have porosity and elasticity in our hair. Our hair is alive. So now, if you're not having a natural experience with your hair, then what other experience are you having? And who are you having it with? Because it is not yourself. You're not having a relationship with yourself because you're not identifying with yourself. You're trying to identify with someone else. And this is why this is very important, that you must reclaim who you are. You must reaffirm who you are. You must tap into yourself. Come on here and begin to contemplate, to meditate, to self-actualize. For you to be you. There is no one can beat you being you. There is no one more beautiful than you. There is no one more handsome than you. There is no one that's more electrifying than you are. There is no one that has more gravitas than you. There is no one that has more power and strength and capability and ability than you. It's about you reflecting you. I want to see you. That's who I love. I love seeing you. I don't want an assimilated element of you because that gives falsality. It gives rise and cause to me not being truthful and open and honest with you because I don't see you. I see someone else. I see a reflection of someone else. Listen to me. When you are authentic, you have the tendency to draw people that are authentic to you. Why am I saying this? Because it's very important. We have old saying, right? Most of you all know this old saying. Real recognize what? Real. Real recognize real, right? Right. So, okay, if real recognize real, then if you have simulated hair, permed out hair, come on here, fake hair, then that means that you're not real. Real is not recognizing real. Don't get this confused, family. I'm not condemning. I'm saying that you need to get with self and see why self have a need to be other than self or to add something to self that alters you, that alters the perception of who you are, that alters your reality, that alters your divine relationships, the divine incidents and encounters that you are to have with someone, come on here, that is to walk this journey with you. Real people, when real recognize real, real isn't caught up in fantasy. Real isn't caught up in fantasy. Real is caught up in projecting how things really appear. Because when you project how things really appear, you get to what? Truth. Truth is how things what? Really appear. Truth isn't somebody's doctrine. Truth is how things really appear. And no one has a lock on the truth. The truth, come on here, needs not a witness. The truth is going to be the truth. And the truth don't care who tell it. Okay? So it's very important to understand that. And I'll read that again because it's important. Your hair is utilized as a purpose of attraction, which is why one should keep their hair natural because it will attract the authenticity of other people. The authenticity of elements and events and encounters and divine incidents. Why? Because you would be so sensitive, you can tell, you can sense it. And see, sister, see here, I'm getting ready to get at you. See, when you perm your hair out and then you are covering your scalp, you have to understand that you're taking away your sensitivity. Not only are you taking away your sensitivity, but watch this. you remove your stimuli. You remove the ability to see what's happening in your environment. Please hear me. Because you all, it's your season. This is the season of Aquarius. This is the water season, and water is very powerful. We're going to get to that. Probably not today, but probably in the next session. Water is very important. You got to understand it. But when you're cutting your hair off and shaving the sides and whacking your hair off, what you're doing is you're messing with your intuitive capabilities. Our sisters, our goddesses, our queens are intuitive. But if you're cutting off your antennas, or if you're cutting off that element that gives you the ability to be able to sense what's going on, then you are messing with your intuitive capabilities, which means that you lose your ability to see. You lose sight, and your sight becomes distorted. When you once seen things how they really appear, now you see them in a distorted way. Please hear what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you become mentally disturbed. Nope. What I'm saying is that you are alleviating a part of the mechanism that causes you to be intuitive. Right? So as you all season, man, the more sensitive you are in the ability to see, man, that take us to the next realm and the next level. I can't stay here. I got to move on. But now, in which one shall and will encounter. On the other hand, if one chooses to wear simulated hair, one is more likely than not to encounter a people with what? False motives, conflicting elements, false realities, relationships that tend to naught, and one's divine incidents are redirected, and the manifestations never what? Materializes. Let me move on to this one. Okay. Trying to get us to a stopping point so we'll just be able to pick up in next session. Okay. Yes, Sister Dorothy said the crown, that's that glory. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay. Do we have any comments? Sister Rhonda says, not only do you look different, you feel and operate differently. Yes. Okay, greetings, sister. Okay. We all good? The Sister Dorothy said the law of attraction. And gang recognize gang. That's right, Sister Rhonda. Real recognize real. Yes, bro. No more electrifying than us. That's right. Yes. Whoa. How old are you, Baba? Ashe. We have snapback. That's right. It's white. I agree. Okay. That's real. Okay. Sister Rhonda Moore says she met a breast cancer survivor who was told not to use deodorant. Yeah, that deodorant will get you too. It's so many chemicals in that deodorant that it's not funny. Yes, Sister Rhonda said those are hormonal drugs. Yes. Okay. Because too many of our sisters need to resemble their counterparts. They hold them up as the standard of beauty. That's correct. All right. Okay, let us move on here quickly. Everybody okay? If you're okay, go ahead and put some of the emojis or something in the air for me. I know we are being a little lengthy, but this information is very important. And I want to get to a place where everybody is comfortable in their thoughts. Okay. Okay, Sister Dorothy said, I guess I must let my side grow back in on the sides. Laugh out loud. Shoot. I'm already too sensitive. We need some more. We need some more sensitivity at you. I was messing with Sister Dorothy, y'all. I told her we need some more sensitivity out of her. Okay, now, so watch this. Y'all remember we briefly spoke on this too when we talked about your hair is filled with energy. It utilizes capillary attraction to cause that which is to be attracted to itself. In other words, hair is attracted to other hair of the same resolution. Or hair knows what? Hair. Now, we can talk about the law of attraction. The law of attraction gets some other things mixed into it. But what we want is the law of capillary attraction. And let me explain that to you like we did. You all know, if you've ever driven before or been riding in the front seat of a vehicle when it's raining, y'all know that the wind pushes the rain and two beads of rain come so close together that they become what? One. They're magnetized and they become one. So that means what? Water knows water. In other words, water know how to become one with water. So capillary attraction happens. Hair is the same way. Hair is attracted to hair because they're what? Antennas. They have the ability to transmit information, color, sound, smells. It has the ability to do so. Why? Because it is alive. Now, y'all know how we go to some people's house. Somebody may have had fish one night. They was cooking and frying fish. But when you got up and went to work the next day, somebody said, what y'all have, fish last night? Mm-hmm. That smell, your hair captured, yes, your hair captured the smell that was in the room. Right. It has the ability, what? To capture smell. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at that. That's powerful. Now, remember I told you all, we have fiber optics because of our hair, not because of other simulations of hair, fur and other simulations of hair. Right. We'll put that over there and leave that right there. But our hair has the ability to transmit light, sound, pictures. Pictures come through fiber optics. This is one of the reasons why they changed from being analog to being digital. Because digital information allows you to stream all of the information simultaneously. But analog, you have to have different channels in which you send information through to get the picture and the sound. They're not together. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So when they digitalized things, it gave them the ability to send sound, color, pictures, all of that at the same time through one streaming mechanism. So you get the digital, we get what? The fiber optics, which is what? A replication of our hair. This is how powerful we are. This is how we have the ability to take the sun and allow the sun, come over here, to tap into our hair, and the sun comes down into our scalps, come over here. We create and send out radiation. We are the only group of people that can absorb it and send it back out. Black body energy. We have the ability to harness it and then dispense it. The same thing with carbon. Carbon dioxide. When you yawn, I don't know how many of you know that, but when you're yawning, guess what you're doing? You're dispelling carbon dioxide, gas. When you pop your knuckles, guess what you're doing? You're releasing the carbon dioxide that's in the joints. You see that all of this is connected. All of our stuff is connected. And what I'm doing is bringing us back to us to realize who we are and fall in love with us and know that we are the gods and know that we are the ones, come on here, with all of the power, and all we have to do is shift it. Shift it. And stop fighting with each other. Stop having all of these little skirmishes and kerfuffles. And become one. Ooh, man. So it causes it to attract to itself. So then, sisters, when y'all have all that beautiful natural hair, come on here, kinked up hair, and y'all knotting it up, tying it up, and roping it up on your head, man, don't you know that's attractive? I'm sitting there like, whoo, look at that. Man, girl got it going on here, full of knowledge. Full of wealth. You're full of history. feel full of our story when you put that, wear that fabric on your head, that natural fabric that comes out of your scalp. Capillary retraction. Let me move on. Okay. Now, these that I'm going over, they are already in the first session, so let me go ahead and just read through some of these and we'll move on. We are gods. That's right. Black body energy. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Okay. And I'm not in any way saying that everybody has to have their hair locked up. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying natural. But locks are very powerful. They are very powerful. Yes. The interlocking of the locks in one's head utilizes a principle. These locks in my head utilizes a certain principle. Okay? Yes, it utilizes a certain principle. Okay? The interlocking of the locks in one's head utilizes a principle of magnetism of wavelengths that attracts ones of the same frequency. Oh. There we go. Still talking about capillary retraction. One must be skilled with magnetism because it has an infrequent, meaning rare. It's so infrequent or so powerful. Doesn't mean that it doesn't have any frequency. It means that it is so rare. The power of it is so rare. An ability to attract unto itself without discrimination, because it is so infrequent, it has the power and ability to attract unto itself without discrimination. Okay, see now, the magnetism of our hair has the ability to attract to itself without discrimination. Let me give you an example of what I mean and why I'm saying this to you. I've been out in different spaces and places. I've been in some of the top hotels, 5 stars, on the elevator. Get on the elevator, and our European counterparts, they on there with their wives. And one, boy, this thing was so funny. One guy's wife, she was a little tipsy. And she looked over there and seen me with these locks in my head, with all this hair. This 6 foot black man, you understand me, with all of this hair on his head. She had the nerve to ask me, "Can I touch your hair?" Can she put her hand in my head? Ma'am? No, ma'am. But if you put your hand in my head, I'm going to break it. And he was like, come on, what are you doing? Come on. No, that's magnetism. She was attracted to it. See, magnetism doesn't discriminate. It's going to call everything to it because it's God. And you have to know how to redirect that. See, we're cutting it all off. Ain't nothing attracted to us. They trying to murder us. They'll stop being attracted to us. We're cutting all of our image. We're destroying and destructing and disfiguring and disframing who we are. But let me move on. It says, in addition, it mesmerizes with the ability or abilities to hold one spellbound with a level of influence that is beyond compare. We have the ability to move the crowd with hair. Just think it's just the hair. And just think if we begin to empower ourselves again and really allow these antennas to release, come on here, the ability for us to attract us together again and become whole and become a family again and heal ourselves from all of this traumatic experiences. Okay. Okay. Everybody good? Let's do 2 more and then we can stop there for today, all right? Let's do 2 more. Excuse me. Okay, Sister Dorothy says locks are powerful. They make many folks go through customs at the airport. Oh yeah, they listen. I just came through the airport on yesterday, and boy, they was patting my head down. Yes, indeed. Yes, Sister Dorothy said that's telling you something there. Sister Rhonda said, "Watch out." I see you, Jack. What's going on? Haven't seen you in quite some time, man. Thank you for peeping in on us and supporting. Okay, now, and interesting enough, brother Jackson Wilson, we went to school together, high school together. He's a stylist. He's a hairstylist. He owns his own shop there in Springfield, Illinois. Shout out to you. Put your shop online down there, Jack. If you're still in the room, put your shop online so if someone comes to Springfield, they'll know where to find you. Put that out there if you're still in the room. Okay, now let's look at this. Hair causes your brain to work in the mode of what? Reciprocation, because it is at once releasing info concerning you while simultaneously receiving info concerning your environment as well as those that are in it. Look at this. It's reciprocal. It's giving and it's taking. It's pushing and it's pulling. It's creating a current. A current for what? Energy to flow. And energy is information. Information is energy. Energy is spirit. Words are spirit, energy, information that travels from one place to the next, which is why they're able to use fiber optics, because they're able to transfer what? Words through there, letters through there, symbols through there.
That pushing and pulling is also polarity.
Polarity. Yes, it's creating polarity. It is pushing and it's pulling, creating polarity. And the way we get certain pictures are through what? Signs and symbols. That's why we use word association. Word association. If I said let me see.
Red octagon.
Yeah, red octagon. If I said if I said ha, do, said, net. Ha, do, said, net. First thing y'all gonna do is say, what is he doing? What is he talking about? Because you can't find anything to associate it with.
Yeah.
There's no word association with that except you know what language I'm speaking.
Right.
Ha, do, said, net. You would have to know what language I'm speaking, right? You would have to know that, oh, he's speaking Korean. He's saying 1, 2, 3, 4
Yes, sir.
in Korean, right?
Yes.
Okay. So there was no word association, but now if you hear it again, you'll be able to associate it with something now. Ha, do, set, net. You'll be able to now, oh, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 in Korean. Now I have something to associate it with. Okay. Now, so this is what we're saying. This is why it's very important that we find the association. What am I associating with? What clan do I belong to? Who am I hailing from? This is important because what? There is stored up information for you in yourself. In your what? Cells, in your self. So you need to what? Zen. Come on here. That's what we do when we enter through the center. When we enter into sinner, when we enter into being a sinner, us being a sinner is nothing more than what? Coming through the what? Center. C-E-N-T what? E-R, center. Oh, he's the center, not a center, center. He came through the middle. Okay, this is the last one we'll do today, and then we'll pick back up on the rest of them. We're willing the creek don't rise on next session. Okay. Yeah, Sister Rhonda said, oh, Korean. Sister Rhonda, it's Arabic. No, not Arabic. Sister Dorothy said, halo hat. And Tana's Customs, they think you are smuggling something in your locks. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. They got you too?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, fam, here we go on the last one. Let's take it out. Let's knock it out the box. And we'll get you into the rest of your evening. I'm so grateful. I want to say thank you, our family, for sitting in and sharing with us, with all of us, because we're family. Thank you. Okay, now, your hair is connected to, we were talking earlier about this. Your hair is connected to your lymphatic system. Thusly, if one cuts their hair, it causes a numbness of the senses, subsequently causing, in some cases, the inability to respond to subtle stimuli. Hair is living tissue. The more hair you have, the more power is generated with your what system? Your nervous system. Your nervous system, your neurological system. The concert in your mind, your pituitary, your pineal gland, your cerebrum cortex, your cerebellum, your pons, your pyramids, your thalamus, your hypothalamus. Then you come down into your olfactory nerves, your olfactory system, your ability to smell and your ability to sense. Your dendrites, your synapses, your neural pathways that creates and turns on your brain cells when you tap into this information. So you don't want to create numbness. So when you see everyone that's cutting all the hair off of their face and not leaving any, doesn't leave room for the stimuli. And then if you see, the shortening of the hair, cutting all the hair off, and then balding the sides, is creating a hardness, an insensitivity, the ability to sense at a higher level to catch the subtle stimuli. See, when you, Sister Dorothy hit on something that was very important, that we're tapping into something brand new. We're coming into something of newness. Yes, because you're going to remember who you are. Once you remember who you are, you're going to stop disfiguring yourself. You're going to stop cutting all of your hair off. And you're going to begin to realize that through me being who I am, I create the right atmosphere. I gather in new information, revelations, and having epiphanies, having flashbacks, having recall, remembering the selves, remembering all that has come before me, remembering my forefathers, my ancestors, remembering them in me and becoming who they projected me to be, being the individual that they called me to being the one of them, that we all may be one. And that we all may carry each other again. And that we may all look alike again. That we may see each other in each other again. It's up to us to reframe that. It's up to us to send out the articulation that gives us, a visualization. Remember, your hair is a living tissue. The more hair you have, the more power is generated with your nervous system. The ability to see into the future. The ability to see into the past. And to connect it to the present, the now, the right now. You become more powerful. Let us become us. Let us set aside all other ethnicities and become us. Because there's nobody like us. Nobody can beat us being us. I don't care how many times they dress up in blackface. Blackface is resurging. Back on the rise at the forefront because there is this deep desire to be us. There is a twisting in of the hair now and the matting of the hair and trying to achieve locks. They said braids didn't become popular until none other than Bo Derek started wearing them. And we've been wearing them all of our lives. We've made them attractive. They've stole from us and tried to make it attractive. Because they know it's attractive. Because they are attracted to us. So they want to be us. Remember the thing about magnetism, that it is indiscriminate. You have to be careful with it. Deception is real. There's this need to keep us from being us. I want to say to you today that I love you for being you. Be you. And I love you even the more. There's nothing more beautiful to me than being black and brown. And of course, the color spectrum that belongs to the black and brown. I'm your host with the most. I'm the one, the apostle, the prophet. As always, let me check and make sure I'm not missing any comments. Yes, I do. I love you for being you. I love you for being you. Queen Rhonda Moore says, my awakening did not begin until I went natural. My crown of locks opened me up to the real. There it is. Braids look a hot mess on the European, don't they? Yeah, y'all doing it. Black Love family. The Sergeant at Arms, Kiana Grant, said, one of my daughters, my elder daughter over there in none other than the rock that's little, where we went to shut up the gates of hell. Come on here, so they shall not prevail. But I want you to know that I love you. And as always, hold what you got. Cogitate upon it. Muse over it. Ponder on it. But by all means, do what? Govern yourselves accordingly. This has been your host with the most. One love. Eternal light. Power. Peace. Prosperity. And good health. Shalom Aleichem. Mishpachah. Peace be unto you, family. Until we meet again. I reciprocate.